Hey, 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 internet folks. I've got the LG V20 in the house. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I've had this since Wednesday morning, the day after the event in San Francisco. I was still at Burning Man and I couldn't make the event. That's also why my fingers are kind of nasty, even though I've tried to make them a little better. So please, no comments about that. Now, the V20, I've had it since Wednesday. I have used it, but I did re-package it in the box. There were no screen protectors to peel off or anything, so I was able to use it for a bit and put it back, so give you an unboxing. And of course, I'll give you a few of my first impressions. As you know, I'm a big fan of LG's phones because their imaging performance is usually very, very good. The V10 last year did not disappoint with some seriously good pro features on video and photography. And this is the V20, the successor to the V10. And remember, the V10 is kind of a large version of the G series. So the V10 was a large version of the G4, and the V20 is a large version of the G5. So without further ado, here's the box. There's a bunch of stuff here, blah, 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 serial numbers and all that. Yeah, let's open it up because that's what we're here for. Okay, what does it say here? Play more. Life is good when you play more. Hey, that no kidding, huh? So it opens like a book, which I think is really kind of cool. Da, 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 da. And as you can see, I managed to fit almost everything in the screen. So let's start here. You've got this little tab. I can pull it and nothing happens. So maybe I have to do this. Yes. This little thing, and then pull the tab and still nothing happens. I guess the phone is just wedged in there. I'll just maybe just tilt it out. Sorry, guys. There we go. So I guess this little tab wasn't put back properly, but there's the phone. So let me show you a little more details about this in a second. Then, of course, we've got a charger here, USB Type-C, remember? So we've got, this is nice because this is a USB Type-A Quick Charge 3 charger. It's the same charger as for the G5, which I think is cool. It has USB Type-A on one end, and can we see it here? Right there. USB Type-C on the other. So this cable is pretty versatile. You can use it on your computer to transfer files, etc., etc. So I'll put this back. And then, last but not least, is a flat cable, which is great. These don't get tangled. And then last but not least, there is another little box here. Let's see what's inside. Another Play More thing. It's the battery. Yes, because this has a removable cover. So here's the battery. Play More. What size is this battery? 3,200 milliamp hours. That bodes pretty well. It's pretty thin, as you can see. So let's take a look. I think this is it. I don't see anything under here. I don't see any manuals hiding anywhere. Now remember, this is not a final US unit. This is a, I don't know if it's, I wouldn't say pre-production. It's definitely a production device, but it's not for the US market. So the packaging might be different once you get it from your US operator. Let me get the phone out and show you what's up with that. So here it is, the LG V20. And you know, at first sight, it's kind of disappointing, to be frank. I'm not a big fan of this design. It looks very boring. You have very much like a BlackBerry Z10. There's a bit of dust here. My room is just dusty all the time. So, kind of boring slab in the front, and the back might be a little more interesting. Let's have a look. Meh. This is a weird little antenna line or something. So, let me walk you through the features before I open the back, because this is a removable cover. So, you've got the LG logo down here, as expected. No speaker or anything. This is a plastic piece. LG logo. There's a very large display here, 5.7 inch, I believe, Quad HD, IPS. And then there's a front-facing camera here. I believe it's an 8 megapixel, just like on the G5. You can see some sensors next to it. And then you can't see it really well here, but there is a secondary display alongside. I'll power it up so you can see. There's a little secondary 2.1 inch display here with a few pixels And I'm not sure if it's part of the IPS panel or if it's an extra OLED panel this time. On the V10, they seem to be one and the same. They had this, different backlights, but there seem to be both IPS. And then there's the earpiece up here embedded in this other plastic piece. On top, you see an infrared transmitter for remote controlling devices, secondary microphone for noise reduction. There is nothing here on the right-hand side other than this button. I'll get to this button in a second. No, it is not a camera shutter key. It is just a release for the back cover. And then on the bottom here you have a mono speaker, which is all right. USB Type-C, headphone jack, primary microphone, headphone jack, headphone jack. I know I'm repeating myself, but some phone manufacturers don't seem to be getting this headphone jack thing. Like, for example, iPhone, Apple this week with the iPhone 7 and the Moto Z and Le Ecos, Le 2 and Le 2 Max and Le Pro 2, I believe. I'm kind of against removing the headphone jack because I love really high quality audio. And this phone is all about high quality audio. I really feel that I understand where Apple's going, and I think that the future is about using USB Type-C for everything, and I really think Apple should get on board. Since they're doing the MacBook with USB Type-C, they need to start doing their phones and iPads with USB Type-C. I know the future is audio over USB Type-C. I get this, but we're still not quite ready to ditch the headphone jack, and I really do believe that for high-quality audio, this is the only way to go. I've got some headphones that are 20 years old that are way better than anything you can buy today, frankly. Because first of all, they're worn in, and secondly, they sound so fantastic, and I can only plug them into this port right here. So I want to see that stay for as long as possible. That's a lot of info about the headphone jack and the bottom part of this phone. So let's go to the left side. There's nothing on the left side except for this volume rocker as expected right here. Now in the back, V20 logo. We're starting to get a little jitters on my live video. This is not my doing, guys. I've noticed this happens a lot with YouTube Live. Just bear with me. I've got a really high quality connection here, 40 megabits upward, so I don't really think that's the issue. Fingerprint reader, which is also the power lock key. This is very much the same layout as on the G5. Remember, the G5 has volume rocker on the side as well, not in the back anymore. And then here is like the array of all the mothers of everything. So there is the dual LED, dual color flash, I believe. No, it's not dual color. It's dual LED. In the middle of it is an extra sensor for UV light that helps you with white balance. And actually, I have some comments about that. I believe this camera on the left here is the wide angle, and this one on the right is the regular, but it could be the other way around. One of them is an 8 megapixel f/2.4, I believe. Wide angle lens, no autofocus, but OIS. And the other one is a 16 megapixel, super high quality OIS, autofocus, more narrow angle camera, 16 megapixels. It's really great. Then you have the laser autofocus here next to all that. Quite the pod. And it sticks out. And the interesting thing about this is it looks like one piece of glass on top, but it's actually not. There's a cutout for this, for the flash, there's a cutout for this lens, cutout for this lens. So these lenses are slightly recessed. So if you put this on a table, you won't damage anything. So anyway, this comes in different colors. This is not my favorite color. As you can see, my fingers are pretty clean right now, but I'm still getting some fingerprints on this. This is all metal, the back. So I told you the end caps are plastic, the front is glass, but the back is all metal. And let me push this release button, and it opens like a book again. So here we go inside. You've got, you can very clearly see this is stamped, potentially even machined aluminum. Again, I applaud this, very nice from LG to give us a metal phone that's real metal this time. The G5 is actually metal painted, which is kind of like a car, but it doesn't really count as metal in my book. And then here you've got a bunch of stuff. You can see the SIM and a micro SD card slot. This is a nano SIM and micro SD card slot. And then you have the contacts for the battery, power lock, fingerprint reader, bunch of antennas embedded all over the place here. Some contacts you can see here unused. I presume this is for, actually it's not unused, it's used on this phone. They are the matching contacts right there. But I think there might be more contacts we're not seeing for an optional wireless charger. LG did that for the V20 last year, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's the case this year again. I haven't found the contacts, but anyway. Let's put the battery in, fire it up. Again, I've used this phone for a few days. I'm actually reviewing this phone for Chip Check, the awesome blog by Helena and her crew. Very honored to be able to write for those folks. So expect my review on that blog at some point soon. So this is where one of my first gripes comes to the V20. This closing of the back cover is very janky. It just doesn't work very well. You really have to kind of press, and there's always a corner somewhere that doesn't want to close properly, and it just doesn't want to close and end up with fingerprints all over the display. So let me wipe this really quickly. I hate fingerprints over a clean phone. So now it's closed, finally, full of fingerprints, but it's closed. And you can kind of see because it's flush everywhere. But this corner here always refuses to close properly. I don't know why. So let's turn it on. Remember, I've already set up this phone because I have to review it. So this is kind of a fake unboxing. I'm sorry, I lied. But hey, you know what? There were no screen protectors. So it's not like I actually removed anything from this package. You're getting almost a true experience. You won't get the setup screen here. But it's going to log right into my account and stuff, and you can see the secondary space. Really what I want to show you guys. And some of the new video modes, there are some really new, interesting things. They've changed the UI, so I'm going to connect here. I need to type in my password real quick because it's the first boot, but here we go. So I've got the Google Now launcher. That's the way I like to do things. So, you know, bear with me. This is not obviously what it comes with. So the secondary display, as you can see right now, just says Tank Girl up here, right? But I can have it display these shortcuts, so I can turn on the flashlight, for example, and then, you know, turn on and off Wi-Fi, turn on and off sound vibration, Bluetooth. You can configure these to be anything you want. The next screen set is, you can put like some kind of info screen. So I just put my handle Tank Girl on there. You can change the font. You can write, you know, I love you all, whatever. Next thing you have is, you know, look, it's Russell's birthday. Hey, Russell, happy birthday. Calendar events. And then recent apps that you run are shown here with their app logos. And then there's here's shortcuts to my favorite people. I've got my spouse's phone number here. I haven't put anyone else because I'm lazy. And then this is a media player. If you start playing audio, it appears right there. And then you're back to, this is your favorite apps you can have. And of course, notifications pop up. Like, see, no, they come back. And then here's my favorite apps. So I've got the dialer, messaging, which is my text messaging app, Google Now, Chrome, and then the camera, of course, which replicates more or less what I have down here. And also replicates what I have on the lock screen, as you can see here. That's kind of my standard setup. And so when your phone is off, you also have this screen, and this screen then has a bunch of different settings. You get the date and time. You still have these shortcuts that you can configure, and your media controls. But then you go back to the date and time, and notice there's a notification. Just the icons are shown. And so this is kind of an always-on ambient display. And I got more dust on my phone. So there you go. That's basically what the second display is like in a nutshell. Now, this has really not changed since the V10, so nothing really new there. Let me show you some of the modes on the camera. Let's throw a Moto Z in the shot, so we can have something to show you on the viewfinder. So there we go. So you got a Moto Z here. You got the secondary screen used here for additional controls, which is really clever because the screen edge is right here, right alongside the camera. So you got manual mode for video. Again, this is no different than the V10, except the layout of the UI is different. And notice the view meters. You can adjust the levels. If I tap on here, there's a whole new interface. Sorry, I don't know why it's not coming up. This is weird. I have to tap on the microphone. I'm sorry, guys. I thought it was a view meter. This is just informative. Tells you what bitrate you've selected, what resolution you have, and you can change that in this button here. Anyway, so you tap this, and it shows you can adjust the levels, and low pass filter, limiter, and the direction of the mics. Now, last year they only had the direction of the mics and the gain. This year they've added the low pass filter and the limiter, which is really kind of cool. And then there's a wind noise filter you can turn on and off. This again was there last year. And the view meter is really cool. Now, this is manual video, which only exists on the V10 and the V20. And you can go crazy, right? Like watch, you can go, I want to do Ultra HD, okay? And I want to set the bitrate to high, which is a whole whopping 64 megabits per second bitrate. Now this thing knows how to do video. And of course, up here, you can select between the wide angle, which I have right now, and the regular. Right, this is the regular shot, and this is the wide angle. So wide angle captures, like I'm literally 3 fingers away from the phone here. I'm touching my fingers with the edge of the phone. That's what the wide angle can do. I'm literally 2 inches from the phone. And then of course narrow angle actually shows you how close I really am. So there you go. That's manual video, which is a big deal in the V20. Manual photography is very much the same as the G5 and the G4 and the V10 was, but you saw obviously like the G5 have the wide angle versus regular, right, etc. And then you have a bunch of manual settings. Of course, there's no autofocus. There's no focus on this particular one because the wide angle doesn't have autofocus. But as you can see, focus appears here. So you can do things like adjust the focus manually. I don't think you guys can see that. I'm just realizing. Yeah, you won't be able to see it. But basically, you can adjust the focus manually here and all that good stuff. So that's nothing new except for the dual camera, which is on the G5 as well. And then finally, you've got an auto mode, which brings you back to just everything's automatic. And for video there, you can tap this video button up here and switches over to video. And actually starts recording right away. So it's actually recording right now. And then you have the UI's changed. Normally there was a simple mode, and the simple mode now is actually here in the settings. You go simple mode, and in this mode you just tap the screen, take a photo. I don't like it, so I'm gonna go back. And then, oh, I didn't want to go back. I wanted to go in the camera back. So let's go back to auto mode here. And then this is also kind of annoying on this UI compared to the G5 even, is that to change HDR, you have to go here and then select auto on or off, and then hit the back button. So it's like, say you're like trying to take this photo here, and you want to change to HDR. First of all, you don't know what mode you're in. Secondly, you have to go in this settings mode, and then manually go in here, change it to on, go back. Whereas on the G5, it was like just a toggle. You could just tap on it 2 or 3 times, and it wouldn't basically, you wouldn't have to hit this back button. This is really not very well done. It's a step backwards in my opinion. So anyway, I want to go back to manual video because this is kind of like the coolest thing ever. And I'm going to change it back to, change the frame rate per second, which is really cool. You can do 1 frame per second, which means that you're going to get like an accelerated video. I'm going to back to full HD because I think full HD is kind of more my thing. Bitrate wise, it's a little more manageable, 24 megabits per second. So anyway, I'm going on here, but you get the idea. This is a powerhouse in terms of imaging and video, and it's also really cool with a secondary display. And then more importantly, there's another thing I wanted to point out, and let me just go back to the auto mode here and quit out of this. The other thing I want to point out is this has hi-fi audio. I can't show you without plugging headphones in, but you can see there is a hi-fi quad DAC button that you can turn on and off, and it says connect a headset to do it. So what is this all about? Well, so ESS is a manufacturer of high-quality DACs and headphone amps. They're a chip manufacturer, and they've partnered with LG, at least we think it's ESS, to include a discrete chip that has a really, really high quality 32-bit, I think it's 300 kilohertz DAC, and a really high quality headphone amp, for this headphone jack. So you can turn that on and off here. It uses a little more energy when you turn that on. By default, it's pretty high quality audio coming out of there, pretty similar to what you have on the G5. But as soon as you turn on that toggle, you get into a whole new dimension of audio. And I've tested this, and you know I'm a bit of an audiophile, so you plug your headphones in here, like my Bayer Dynamic DT990 Pro, which are kind of my reference, or my Etymotic Research ER4P, and it can get super loud, and it's the clearest audio I've ever heard. Until now, I have to tell you guys, the HTC 10 for me was the best sounding phone on the market. It really, I mean, HTC and LG have kind of always duked it out for best sound quality. And last year, the V10 was really my favorite. The HTC 10 this year was my favorite until this came along. The G5 unfortunately doesn't have the hi-fi mode, and it sounds okay, but not great. The G4, in my opinion, sounded better than the G3 actually. So, you know, it's an audio and video powerhouse. Snapdragon 820. I think it's 4 gigs of RAM. Let me have a look actually. About phone. Let's see, hardware info. No, it doesn't tell me here. But here, I can go into... it's got micro SD, as you know, and some, I think it's 64, 32 gigs of storage. Let me go into, whereas Quadrant will tell me these things. So let's have a quick look here. So we have a Snapdragon 820. We have, yeah, 4 gigs of RAM. And in terms of storage, let me go into storage and have a look real quick. I think it's 64. I should have probably read that up first, huh? But I'm so excited. No, yeah, 64 gig. See, 64. So it's a pretty amazing powerhouse. I don't think pricing's been announced, and if it has, I've missed it. It's not going to be cheap. But my only disappointment, to be frank, it's really thin, thinner than the V20. Oh, there's my jittery video again. Oh, YouTube, come on. But it's a little bland and boring, to be honest, and that's kind of what I'm upset about. Not upset, but bummed about, I guess. Look at it. Boring. Boring, especially in this color. Boring. I mean, look at it. It's like a BlackBerry Z10. LG, what are you doing? The G5 wasn't particularly attractive. I thought the G4, even though it's plastic, with this leather back, had something unique about it. The V10 was cool looking. It has like this rugged feel with the rubber back and the stainless steel sides. There's personality to these phones. This phone is just boring. And the other thing is, another gripe of mine is, like, when is LG going to give us a freaking unibody, all metal and glass phone like Apple, Samsung, Moto, and a whole bunch of others are doing? Like, this is where it's at today if you want to make a flagship phone. I like the battery is removable, that's nice, but I don't really need it. Same with the G5, I don't need the modularity the way they did it. You know, Moto did the modularity right on the Z series. This is the way you do a modular. And so, frankly, I wanted to see this as a full-on machine unibody shell with, like, just, you know, feel like something that feels like the Note 7 and the Galaxy S7 and the iPhone 7, like really, really monolithically one massively awesome piece of hardware. Don't get me wrong, it's well made, it's very well made, but it's just the look and feel is just, it's just like, you know, it doesn't feel like, even the OnePlus 3 that costs, you know, probably $300 less is a better phone in terms of look and feel and build quality. So that's my gripe. That's the V20 unboxing. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll show you something else real quick that came with a review unit. It's these Bang & Olufsen H3. Keep hitting the tripod, I'm sorry. It's the perils of live video is what it is. This is the H3 by Bang & Olufsen Play. It's all machined aluminum, beautiful. They're analog headphones, and as you can see, this is what they look like in here. A brushed aluminum finish, a little volume and microphone pod, and a 4-ring jack. And they're LG, but they're branded Bang & Olufsen. I'm not going to open these, but I just want to let you know I have them. They sound okay. I checked them out. It's, you know, not to my standards. It's good, better than, you know, any built-in earbuds that come with phones these days, including Apple's, frankly. But not awesome. Anyway, this video has been going on for almost 25 minutes. I'm kind of going out of control. The V20, I love it. It's a great phone. If you're looking for an alternative to Galaxy S7, Galaxy Note 7, and you don't need a stylus, you don't need waterproofing, and you want a removable battery, this is your baby. And more importantly, if you're a video person and you want to do some most awesome videos, and you're a total music freak like me and you want the best, absolute best audio quality of analog output over the freaking headphone jack, okay? then this is another phone that's just to seriously consider. You know, it's a powerhouse. It's one of the best. So there you have it. Like this video. Again, I do my video live, so I don't have to do any editing, and you guys get them right away. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, tell your friends, all that good stuff. I'm going to be back in about 10 minutes with another unboxing. So if you are watching live right now, please stay tuned for another unboxing of something just nearly as exciting if you're into cameras, and nearly as exciting if you're into if you like the Moto Z, which I use as a prop here, because I'm going to use it as a prop for the next video. Hint, hint, hint. It's a Moto Mod. All right. Cheers. V20 unboxing and mini review. I hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you later. Bye.